Good evening, fellow Americans. This is a special broadcast of Echoes of the Republic, a podcast dedicated to the soul of this nation, its triumphs, its trials, and the unyielding spirit that has carried us through darkness before. Tonight we speak not of distant battles or crumbling empires abroad. We speak of a wound here at home, one that festers in silence while the world watches your victories, Mr. President. This is an open letter, a cry from the depths woven from the threads of history, suffering, and hope. It's addressed to you, Donald J. Trump, the man who promised to drain the swamp, to fight for the forgotten, to make America respected again. We begin with your own words, spoken in Michigan, echoing across this land like a thunderclap of renewal. I am back in Michigan to report to you on the strongest and fastest economic turnaround in our country's history. Under our administration, growth is exploding, productivity is soaring, investment is booming, incomes are rising, inflation is defeated, and America is respected again. Those words ring with triumph, Mr. President. They paint of a golden age dawning. Yet for more than 65 American families, retail investors ensnared in the MMTLP tragedy, they sound like a distant dream, muffled by 3 years of unrelenting despair. Let us thread this carefully as history itself demands. In December 2022, FINRA issued an unprecedented U3 halt on MMTLP metamaterials preferred shares, without warning, without resolution. Overnight, billions in value vanished. Shares held by everyday Americans, veterans, teachers, retirees, young parents were frozen, then canceled. No dividend, no cooperation, no action, no justice. This was no mere market fluctuation. Evidence unearthed by these investors, thousands of documents, whistleblower accounts, congressional inquiries point to naked shorting on a historic scale. Counterparty failures and regulatory systems that shielded the power while crushing the vulnerable. Crimes, Mr. President, that could imprison a man for 100 lifetimes. Domestic financial treason perpetrated by the very institutions meant to protect us. In the suffering, it's like a quiet holocaust of the American dream. How many widows now stare at empty tables, their life savings stolen? How many husbands watch helplessly as their wives battle illness without treatment? Because the money for care evaporated in the regulator's stroke. How many children grow sick, their parents financially powerless, chosen between medicine and mortgage, food and furniture? How many have died, Mr. President? Not on foreign battlefields, but in the shadows of despair, heart attacks from stress, suicides whispered in online forums, lives shortened by the slow poison of hopelessness. These are not statistics, these are your people, the forgotten men and women who you vowed to remember. History whispers parallels that chill the blood. Recall the Great Depression when Wall Street's reckless speculation plunged millions into ruin, families evicted, bread lines stretching for blocks, proud men jumping from windows as their worlds collapsed. President Hoover enacted and birthed the beast we still wrestle, the Federal Reserve. Conceived in secrecy on Jekyll Island, a private cartel that has devalued our dollar by 97% since 1913, enriched elites while eroding the savings of the working class. Or further back to the revolution itself, our founders rose against a distant king's financial tyranny, stamp acts, tea taxes, monopolies that starved colonies while lining imperial pockets. They pledged lives, fortunes, and sacred honor against such beasts. And in our time, the 2008 crisis, banks too big to fail bailed out with trillions while homeowners drowned. Foreclosures, shattered retirements, a generation scared and scarred. MMTLP is the latest chapter in this ancient saga, the many devoured by the few, a wicked beast, morally corrupted. entrenched in the Fed, FINRA, the shadowy counterparties committing treason against the American people, both domestically and through international financial webs that entangle our sovereignty. Yet amid this darkness, your light breaks through. We see it in the crumbling globalist order, the EU surrendering, empires crushed, as headlines proclaim. We hear it in your promise of reckoning and retribution. We feel it in the battle against the Fed itself, the final frontier for American economic soul. Mr. President, you have slain dragons abroad. You have defiled the British-tied oligarchy that Promethean voices like Susan Kokinda so bravely expose. You have unleashed human creativity against the chains of the empire. Now turn that Promethean fire homeward. These 65,000 souls have waited for over 3 years in pain, in poverty, in prayer. They have unearthed mountains of crime, yet justice eludes them. A simple share count, a forensic audit, a Dodge probe, tools within your power could begin the healing. End the Fed's stranglehold on us, as you have signaled. Drain the deepest swamp, sir. Fulfill the promises that brought us to you. No more forgotten Americans. Mr. President, their lives matter. My life matters. The widow's tears, the children's untreated illness, the veterans' broken dreams. These are the true measures of a nation's greatness. When will the reckoning come for us? When will we be saved from the beast? How much more death, starvation, suffering, and loss must we endure while the world is set aright? You are the leader who hears the voiceless. Tug at your heart, sir, the heart that fights for the little guy. Act now. Bring justice to MMTLP. Restore what was stolen. Make America not just respected, but whole. For in saving us, you saved the soul of the Republic. Thank you. Have a good night.